Hello, everyone. How's everything going? It's the super boss stream. We have some super bosses to fight. So 2 of them are optional. Julius and Ishtar. We get like an early preview on the super bosses, right? And you can either kill one of them and they'll both retreat, or let them kill one of your units and then they'll retreat. Sorry, just eating as well. I can't hear the stream because I forgot my headset. I stole your headset. So, fun fact, this droppable heal bracelet that you get for killing the super boss, or this would be a droppable leg ring if I hadn't passed it down, these are inheritance items. There's not actually a unique reward for killing these super bosses. Also, yeah, we don't have Naga yet, so Julius is like almost unkillable. You can do it, but it's a pain in the ass. Who's the sleeper? Are you the sleeper? Yeah, you have sleep. So we're gonna put you to sleep to start out. Kills Julius 2 leg rings. You don't get it though. You don't get the set. If you already passed a leg ring down, you don't get the droppable one. Like, it's the same leg ring. It's so stupid. I think they should at least let you get it, right? Like, he's such a ridiculous boss. Rather than being the Gen 1 leg ring, I think it should be its own leg ring, and they should let you get it. But, like, if you look, they don't even let you get it. You don't get the leg ring because you already, because I already passed it down, right? It's so stupid. I don't know. I don't like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I got some gunk on me. I got some gunk on my fingers. So I have like an ant trap on my desk. I got some gunk on it on me, and now it's sticking all over everything. Serinde will come. She will save us. Oh, let's fortify. For some time, Genealogy of the Holy War, Genealogy of the Holy War, Genealogy of the Holy War, Genealogy of Fire Emblem, Genealogy of the Very Confusion Kaga discussions. What? Now I'm the one who's confused. Also, I am eating. Are you also Sleep Staff? You're Fenrir. You're Hell. Okay, so there's this Sleep Staff. So Altena's extra move coming in clutch here. You're out of range? Yeah. We'll visit here. None of you can even come close to being strong enough to fight Prince Julius. Hate to say it, but sometimes you need to make sacrifices if you want to keep going. So yeah, that village is supposed to tell you, like, kill off one of your units. You're supposed to kill off one of your units. How do we want to... I think we Elwind you and then Canto down so that we can dance for you. But yeah, Kaga he wanted you to make a sacrifice. Kill someone off. In 0% growths, we did that with Lester. It was the epic Lester contribution. Footleg Emblem, Genealogy of the Holy Brave Sword, and Crit Jab. Me when the leg is a foot. This is definitely going to be a much sort of chiller. Oh, Kaga's turn wheel, Kaga's turn wheel, Kaga's turn wheel. Just shy. That's actually so tragic. Can Altena reach that guy? I don't think she can, right? Yeah, she's just shy. Okay, so you go here. Let's sacrifice insert dog water unit here. I agree, we should sacrifice Layla. She's like under-leveled. Bad unit. We are not actually going to sacrifice anyone, in case anyone was worried. Wait, you're a Crusader? Really? Huh. What the fuck is that supposed to mean, little kid? Oh, you're a Crusader? I thought they would be cooler. Fuck you. Huh? You're with the Liberators? Wow, you came for us after all. See, that kid's grateful. That kid's grateful. That kid knows how to be grateful. Alright, Tristan. Keep being Tristan. The life of a Tristan. Not even Joe Halvier. Hey, I've been offered money if I kill the final boss with Johalvir, so, you know, I'll do that. Look at Jian. Just fucking light brand combat time. These animations will take a long time, though. Critical hit. Jesus Christ, Ayra. He's ridiculous. Chat, he's absurd. The cost of trying to make magic look cool, slow animations. Yeah, it reminds me of the FE6 dark magic. Do y'all remember the FE6 dark magic? From like our embed streams and stuff? A few folk living today are as vile as that Queen Hilda of Kronos. She's real cozy with them dark cultists. She goes around stealing kids, and then if you so much as cry, she make— Oh, whoops, that's— I didn't want to visit, I wanted to rescue. Kaga stern wheel. Thank you for rescuing me, thank you! Damn, that's a good level. Go here. Where's Leaf? It's all the way over here. So we are going to Thief Sword you. Get the money. And then there's another— yeah, you're a sleep staffer and you're not silenced, right? Yeah. Alright, so you go here and silence that sleep staffer. Cause this like, there's a bunch of sleep staff and hell tome and stuff. This is where resistance really fucking shines. Like, this is where it becomes obvious just how important res is in this game. And unfortunately, Altena doesn't have it. But she can still one-shot, do like hit and runs and stuff. She didn't even one-shot that guy! That's so sad and hilarious. What is your magic stat? You have 16 magic, so Fee will not get put to sleep. So we can have Fee take care of this sleep staff guy. $37. Is 37 times 2? Yeah, that'll kill. Oh, not doubling. Tristan, you can game. Alright, so what we do is, I think we have Oifi get this kill? Or... Nah. Lester is bester. Altena's not escaping the allegations. It's really so sad, though. You have the sleep staff, so this sort of diagonal here is where we can start sending people. Yeah, right by that little, like, asterisk-y thing. And unfortunately, Seliph, I think... Does Seliph have the res to not get slept? I think even with the barrier sword. Oh no, he does. He's fine. Yeah, okay. And Ayra's can go here and equip Mistletoe. Arthur go here. Surinde, you sure do exist. Bum 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 ba 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 da 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 da. Just move you up. Sed should be fine there on his own. He should just delete these losers. Oh, they're not even attacking him. That's actually so fucking funny. He must just be taking 0 damage or something. Staff battle. Indeed, it is staff battle time. Oh, you attack him. Okay. Oh no. We got dealt a tiny bit of damage. Whatever will we do? 9 damage. 9 whole damages. Although not one rounding is actually sad. If this hits, it is actually kind of a problem, because he gets brought down to 1 HP. Okay, he dodged. We're good. Okay, adept. Poggers. And that's that physic guy. That physic guy that you hate. One thing I wonder, do love stats increase while units are inside the castle? I think they get the natural increase, but not the adjacency. Okay, one thing I need to see... Alright, you... Brave Sword here. You do that. 0 hit, 0... Oh, this is a staffer, isn't it? I was like 0 hit, 0 attack, but then I realized... That's not actually impressive because it's a silent sleep staffer. I mean, Sed doesn't need to impress me, though. He's already amazing. Alright, so let's take care of the last sleep staffer. Shit. Okay, we've got Dance here. Selif doesn't reach, does he? Yeah, Selif doesn't reach unless we dance him here, maybe? So Selif goes there. I mean, Ares could just Mistletoe, so he doesn't get slept anyway. I overestimated Fee's combat. I forgot she doesn't have the Brave Lance anymore. Gian doesn't actually need in gold because we're not really doing much with her. Oh, you're the physic guy anyway. Wait. Okay, Kaga's turn wheel. Can I even reach the sleep guy? Kaga's turn wheel, Kaga's turn wheel, Kaga's turn wheel. I don't think I can, actually. I can, but then I have to stay in range of the sniper, right? What's your res look like? 16. So the strength left res difference, strength magic difference is... Because that is 30 minus 9, that's 21. 40 minus 16, that's 24. You do more damage, but... We know Ares and Selif don't get put to sleep. I don't want to send Lester over there because he'd just die. Oh, you don't get put to sleep either. Okay, awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So you can just go up here. I forgot he had the barrier ring. Alright, let's do this. Today I finished my series, the FE4 Dialogues with Dubbing. I've asked you before, like, we don't need to do, please don't do self-promotion in my stream chat. I've asked you that before. This is the last time I'm gonna ask you. I will just mute after that. So we got rid of you, which means now it's actually safe for Altena to, like, go places. Well, I mean, she still dies to any magical enemies, but she doesn't get put to sleep. Is that the wrong guy again? Or they're just two sleep staffs there. No, there's just two of you because it's evil. There's just two of you because it's evil. I fucking forgot how evil this formation is. Oh. We need to stay out of Ishtar's range. That could have been a little bit sketch. Alright, so if you exist and it causes me great misery, then I guess we'll move you here. Dance for Seliph. And Seliph can take care of this guy, but then is he in Ishtar's range? No, he's just barely out of it. Okay. Brave Sword you. Doesn't Julius have a leg ring? He does. Oh, are we in Julius's range? Thank you. I didn't realize, because he's like farther back, so I thought he wouldn't be able to reach. But yeah, Julius reaches one extra tile because of the leg ring, even though he's farther back. So what we'll have Seliph do is go here and attack with the javelin instead. Pew! And I guess we put Jian here with the light brands. Because, yeah, I'm not ready to... Oh, wait, is that in... That is in sleep range. Kaga's turn wheel, Kaga's turn wheel. I'm not ready to engage with Julius and Ishtar yet. Because I don't plan on sacrificing anyone. At least at the moment. Long ago, the 12 Crusaders waged holy war against the Loptirian Empire for 15 years. Nary a single corner of the land of Judgrel escaped the war's clutches. It was Saint Haim who smoked the Dark God Avatar, Emperor Gaia, XVII, was that 17th? 17th. Restoring light to this land at last. And yet, the Dark God is upon us once more. O great Crusaders, protect us all. If you defeat Ishtar, Julius will retreat too. Yes, if you kill one of them, they both leave. And if you let one of your units die, they both leave. Let's go through the arena. Let's go through the arena. Tinny deserves a little bit of love. Her accuracy, however... Oh, the crit! You can promote Chinny in Chapter 7. Technically, yes. You can promote anyone in their recruitment chapter just by, like, abusing infinite reinforcements. I didn't. We can get some Joe Javier action here. But yeah, I personally just don't find it worthwhile. Like I said in the Tinny unit review, the payoff is just another infantry staffer, so who cares, you know? Unless you're doing like a ranked run, there's just not really a point to training her. But I'm sending her into the arena when, you know, when the opportunity arises. The point is that I like her. Yet means you gonna do it. Yeah, like I said, I'm not planning on sacrificing anyone. The easiest way to engage with them is just to kill one of them. There is a funnier thing you can do as well. If you give a capped magic sage the magic ring, they can status Ishtar. So if you berserk Ishtar, you can have her just like fight her own people, which is a funny way to do it. I forget whether her killing her own people results in them leaving. Like whether it's triggered to specifically blue units or just any kill whatsoever. But either way, it is funny to berserk her. Like, berserk is usually just the funny option for any scenario. Whether it's the best option or not, it's always the funniest one. Five hit, by the way. 5 hit, 3 damage, by the way. Pathetic. Pathetic humans, you stand before said. What? Look, Ishtar, victory is mine. Damn it. I was hoping we'd dodge the 99. Mother? So he reached that tile? I thought I checked ranges. Oh wait, that's the wrong save file. It was blocked. Oh, yeah, right. Okay, no, you're right. It was a blocked. Yeah. And then once the guy moves out of the, yep, because he goes on this road. Okay. You're absolutely right. But this tile he doesn't reach, right? Okay, so what we can do is, if we go off of that same RN string, we know she gets a critical hit here. She goes miss plus crit. So we can kill this one, at least. And, oh wait, he still does reach there, because that guy moves. Alright, so what we'll do is, I guess we kill the physic guy, the physic guy, and then Kanto out. Is this the Engaged Paralog? Yes, it is. The next castle. The Engaged Paralog is this castle and the next castle. It takes up both. You start out here in the forests, and then you kill a sage who's standing here, who's supposed to represent Zangam. And then Sigurd spawns here, where Arvis would spawn, and he charges forward, crosses this bridge that hasn't spawned yet, because we haven't killed Zangam, and he fights you down here. So, honestly, this is more the Engaged Paralog than the next one. It is technically both of them, though. Like, it's this portion of the map that I'm highlighting here. And this is where you get the secret goddess icon, because that's where Tyrfing is. And the life ring. No, the life ring is not over there. The life ring is in a different location. But I will be showing off the life ring event. And Ayra's critical fucked up the event for me. So sad. That's part of why, whenever people argue, like, oh, so-and-so is a good Ayra's killer, you know, it'll be Shanam or Sed, specifically for Sed, he said, or, any number of other, like, random good combat inventory. It's usually Shannon and Sed. But some people will say, like, a trained up Ayra, or a trained up Larse, or, you know, whatever the cope is. I do think it's reductive to say, like, just use Seliph for everything, obviously. But in this particular case, you get rewarded for killing this boss with Seliph. And, like, yeah, the life ring is bad. But the reward, at least to me, I don't find the reward to be the life ring. I find the reward to be, the lore, right? Like, I want to get that satisfying cutscene or whatever. And so, I find the argument of, like, so-and-so being a good, what's his name? Arvis killer, to be not super convincing. Which even without the cutscene, to be honest, like, being able to kill a single boss is not a huge argument, unless it's like Thracia, where the Dead Lords are, like, legitimately so tough that you might actually get stuck. But even then, you have, you know, ways around it. We will talk about, like, Thracia bosses and Thracia boss killing when we do the Thracia series after this. Oh, are you in? You about to get put to sleepy pie. It's okay, I don't care about Surrende. She can stay sleeping. They have 776 base stats. Yo, so real. Horse maxing pre-promote mogging. I don't even know what any of that means. I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. I'm old. I don't know what mog or max are. Oh, are you dead? Wow, she did even worse in the arena this time. Marita being used makes the Nosferatu Sage way easier. Yes! But I would say even the, there's like 3 Dead Lords that Marida's pretty good against. And Trude. Like, people bring it up for Marita. Because, like, oh, Marita Blade gives Nihil. It's also an argument for Trude. Like, obviously Trude is worse than Marita. But I do think it makes, like, the most forgettable unit in the game have an actual niche that has actual value. And that's pretty cool. It's okay, Grandma. Don't worry about it. And, like, don't get me wrong. I still think Marita and Trude are, like... I mean, Trude's pretty bad. And Marita's, like, middling at best. Where did I put them? I'm actually curious. While enemy phase is playing out, I'm gonna pull up my own tier list so I can remind myself where I put them. Danny, Doyle, Thracia. Alright, I put Trude as the very bottom of C. And Marita... in, like, high C? Right in between Ralph and Ada. Right below Ralph, right above Ada. That seems about right to me. I usually just check where I put them in my own tier lists, and I either go like, yeah, that seems about right, or what the fuck was I thinking? Like, there's never any sort of in-between. Yeah, whereas Trude is the very bottom of C, he's right below Halvan, who is the second to last unit in C, and right above Hicks, who is the highest unit I have in D tier. Thracia is a curious game. I like Thracia, though. Nighty night, Serinde. Thank you for your help. Imagine being worse than the guy. Who's the guy? I know what maxing is, but mogging is a mystery. All I've seen in terms of maxing is people put, like, maxing at the end of... Okay, so the farthest you can get is here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We should be able to rescue him. If I counted right, which, you know, counting is hard, so I might have counted wrong. But people put maxing at the end of words to mean, like, doing a good job, right? Is mogging's like a sex thing? Or am I wrong about both of those? Or just one? Perfect. Mogging is when someone looks more attractive than you. Okay, so it's kind of a sex thing. Oh, that's a moving sleep staff guy. In, like, a cunty way. Are we, like, allowed to say that on YouTube? Because it's, like... Here in America, people consider that word to be, like... a slur or whatever. But I know that in, like, Australia and, like, the UK and those sorts of places, it's basically just the equivalent of, you know, saying you're a jerk. Like, it's not even as bad as a swear word there. I know YouTubers that have to censor that word. And yet, and I guess this is because it's so America-centric, but, The word... Oh, should I say it? I don't know if I should say it, honestly. S-P-A-Z is like, it's like an ableist slur in the UK, but it's like a perfectly normal word here in the United States, right? And that word doesn't get treated the same way. Lopez is a coin maxer. You'll have your kill. Okay, they're getting ready for the next leg of the adventure. Who has restore on them, by the way? You sleep. You have restore. Shh, don't tell Kaga. The anti-flyer tiles are so funny. This one does not make any sense narratively. How many times are we gonna have the anti-flyer conversation? I think that people go like too far in terms of like everything has to have a narrative reason, right? The anti-flyer tiles exist because for the game to function as it's supposed to function, they can't let you send flyers way far forward, especially since Sigurd and Selef would not have a reason for, like, to send people there, right? Look, Sire, the territory of Chalfi awaits us just across the Milato Strait. Chalfi? My father's fatherland. I can only imagine all the memories you must have of it, Oifi. Of course. I don't think there's a single corner of Chalfi which I don't recall fondly. Lord Sigurd and Lady Ethlyn, Nisha, Alec, all of my other peers among the young Chalfi knights. Every last face was a friendly one. I can only imagine, Oifi. I've never so much as set foot in Chalfi, have I? Indeed, Sire. You were born in Augustria and raised in Celeste and Isaac. Come to think of it, Sire, you've never been anywhere near Granville till now. Quite the sorry excuse for a Prince of Granville I make, wouldn't you say? I almost feel as if I've tricked the world. I know, Sire, but I pray you understand this is the will of your citizens all long abused and stripped of power by the Empire. They've endured decades of suffering beyond compare at the Empire's hands, all in the hope of one day seeing the coming of their savior. The savior? Do they believe it to be me? They do. The common folk have long prayed for the second coming of the hero Sigurd. The folklore claims that he comes once more in the form of a legendary child who Sigurd begat with Empress Deirdre. The legendary child? It's terrifying to know that the people have taken to seeing me as some sort of god, Hoifi. Think of it as a product of sheer brutality of the Empire's regime, Sire. Look around you. We stand in a realm where the children are snatched from their parents in droves, and all who resist are put to the slaughter. No mere human could ever wreak such madness. A great evil lurks behind it all. Say, Oifi, I've been hearing tales that Emperor Arvis is the dark god itself. Where do you stand? I've heard the same from countless others in our travels, Sire, but I doubt it. Who could it be? Manfroy, perhaps? Sire, whoever it may be, the dark god's return is fast approaching. You must hurry. Your people have come to reveal you as a crusader destined to save them. The time to heed their call is upon us. So that's part of the, like... That's part of the thing where it's like... The narrative doesn't necessarily present Sigurd as if he, like... was wrong, right? Like, right there, the people wanted the second coming of the hero Sigurd, as opposed to, you know, Sigurd being a conqueror who, like, enabled the Empire and stuff, right? So while I personally, like, do view the story as, you know, Seliph, like, part of what I enjoy about it is Seliph overcoming the issues the previous generation had, right? Like, it is also worth acknowledging that, it's not necessarily how it's presented all the time. But also, you know, death of the author, we can, you know, take what we want from these narratives and throw away the parts we don't like, to an extent, you know? It's worth acknowledging stuff, but it's also, it doesn't have to be the end-all, be-all. It's not a slur. People didn't know it was a slur. I mean, I think... I don't think that makes things not a slur. I think that, you know, we can approach it differently in sort of the way... Rather than, like, you know, we should, you know... hate this person forever. It's more an acknowledgement of just how, you know, messed up society was, but... Similar to the G word, where, especially in the United States, it's so it's used so cavalierly. For those who might not know what I'm talking about, it's a slur for the Romani people, which is the group that Esmeralda from Hunchback of Notre Dame is a part of. But that, and then the shortened form of it that is like a verb, are slurs that, like, originated in Europe for the Romani people because they were viewed as, like, you know, evil child snatchers, magic, they lay curses on you, that sort of stuff. And that word, there are definitely quite a few people in the United States who just don't recognize it is an offensive term for a people, which doesn't make it like an okay word to use, but it does mean that, you know, grace probably isn't the right word for it, but there's some amount of understanding where it's like, rather than, you know, fuck you, I'm never gonna watch your stuff again, I think you're a horrible person, it's like, hey, you know, you might not realize this, but that word is, like, actually really fucking offensive, right? I will say people in Europe, I think, less grace on that front, because it is, you know, the Romani people are there, right? And they are actively persecuted in Europe, with, you know, that word being leveraged against them and used to justify said persecution, right? The only slur I stand by is clanky, cause fuck AI. What is clanky? Wait, am I allowed? Okay. What is, I don't know if I'm supposed to say that word. What is that? I realize you just called it a slur, so maybe I shouldn't just be throwing it around. What does that mean? clanker and similars for robots. Okay, maybe I'm just old and this is gonna age very poorly. But that's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. A slur for robots? First off, we do not have sentient robots. So like the concept of like a slur for functionally an inanimate object, right? Ooh, he got hit. I think he's fine though. I don't think anyone else can reach him. Enemy attack order saved him. It's not a real slur. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Oh, fuck, it can reach him. Okay, just dodge arrows. Just dodge. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. It's not like... It feels like a slur on the same level as cracker, where it just comes from a fundamental misunderstanding of what the term slur is referring to. Because it's not... A slur is not an insult. I mean, it is an insult, but insult is not slur, right? It's squares and rectangles. If I call you an idiot, right? If I say, hey, you're really fucking stupid, that's not a slur. A slur is targeted specifically at a marginalized group in order to convey the understanding, the idea, you are not welcome here, you are not safe here. Often associated with a history around that marginalization. Not always, but usually there's a history, right? So like, you know, the C word for East Asian people and specifically Japanese people, but sort of applied broadly to East Asian people, comes from World War II stuff, right? The N-word, I mean, do we have time to go over the entire history of up into the present day, the way that black people are marginalized and stuff is weaponized against them? Whereas, like, you know, robots or AI, in addition to just not being sentient, they're not like a fucking underclass. Raid alert? What do you mean raid alert? Raid alert. What's... Oh, right. YouTube added that, like, raid feature. I forgot. Ellery sent us. Hello, Ellery fans. You joined at a very weird time. What a weird... Yeah, exactly. What a weird time to raid the stream. Somebody said the word clanker was a slur, and I was talking about why, that's dumb, and I disagree. Sorry to have you walk in on the slur discussion. Fun raid event. Sponsored by not Raid Shadow Legends. Hello, Ellery. How did your stream go? You were doing more Awakening? I saw the notification. You have a new strategy. What is that new strategy? We do not live in the Blade Runner times. Please ignore the Blade Runner set of the past. Are people gonna unsubscribe from me if I say I've never watched Blade Runner? Because I haven't. I'm sorry. It's a piece of culture that I just have not engaged with. Better use of Rickon and Virion. Is it for the early game? gotta get the magic ring on him. So now all that's left is Julius and Ishtar. It would be very funny if we berserked Ishtar. How much money does Sed have, actually? Oh, we can absolutely berserk Ishtar. Okay, is berserk in the shop or is it on Charlo? It's on Charlo, okay. He has to sell this now. Virion makes sense, but Rickon makes me very interested. Yeah, I feel like Virion is a, very underrated unit by people who, like, aren't super engaged in, like, the meta of Awakening. Just because, like, you know, Archer bad stats moment. And there's sort of the thought process that because bows were bad in, like, the Game Boy Advance games, they must be bad everywhere. What chapter is this? This is chapter 10. This is the second to last map in the game. This is actually the portion that the Engage, paralogue, Sigurd's paralogue and Engage is based off of. And right now we have 2 super units. That they go away if you kill, like, if you let them kill one of your dudes, but I want everyone to live. So we are going to, I think I'm gonna berserk Ishtar and see if I can get her to fight Julius. I think that would be very funny. So we are gonna be here for a little bit. Mostly just standing around. Oh, I should probably deal with that pirate, shouldn't I? This is where those cracked sages come from. Yeah, they represent those 2 super units. And the funny thing is, beating them doesn't even give you a good reward. Julius drops a leg ring, but only if you didn't pass the leg ring down from Gen 1. Alright, so you go here. 'Tis only lately that we've had to deal with these rites of sacrifice. Not so long ago, from what I hear, Emperor Arvis himself forbade them entirely. What the devil could have changed his mind? Please, I'm begging you. You have to save our children. Here, this magic ring ought to help out. So that boosts Sed's magic high enough that he can now use status staffs on Ishtar. And we do need to deal with that guy, so let's send Patty up there to, like, steal from him. Virion is better in higher difficulties than lower. Yeah, because I think the 2 big things he brings to the table, and Ellery, correct me if I'm wrong about this. Early on, the 2 big things he brings to the table are, like, he can attack uncountered, which is a huge deal. And he can, and he can leave a bow equipped later. So, like, on Lunatic Plus, with the bow equipped, he, doesn't get hit by counter damage. Which I guess would only be relevant from, like, chapter 3 when they start getting counter? It's the map where you get Sumia and Kellum. I just don't remember the number. So that's really good. And then I guess technically he can promote into Bow Knight in order to hit both sides of the Pavas Aegis spectrum. I don't know how useful that is. I assume it's good. Bows are more important on Lunatic Plus, and Virion is the only character who can use a bow without a second seal or master seal. Yeah. There's also, like, wyverns in Chapter 5. Is that relevant at all, or not so much? Chapter 3 or 4. it's the Rickon map. Again, I'm not great with the numbers, because Awakening started the trend that I really hate, where we've got preludes and prologues as different things. So there's like prelude, prologue, then chapter 1. And then like Fates does it even worse, because we've got like premonition. And then I think, is Xander a prologue or is Xander chapter 1 where you fight him? But then like the first 5 maps are Branch of Fate, which is kind of different from like the regular maps. So it's so awful. I hate keeping track of chapters in Fire Emblem Fates. Xander is considered chapter 1. That's so strange, because like that, I feel like in other Fire Emblems that sort of thing would be considered a prologue, where you're just fighting one enemy. It gets out of hand. And then so at least in Awakening, I'll say this, because even though it started the trend that I don't like, from a story perspective, it does actually make sense to have a premonition in Awakening. Because it's about changing the future, right? So opening with the bad future, I think is actually, not from a gameplay perspective, but from a story perspective, very good. However, then Fire Emblem Fates made it like Corrin having a dream that doesn't really reflect the future, that was mostly meant to serve as like an advertisement for the other routes. And then Fire Emblem Engage has no fucking excuse for it. Like, it's supposed to be a flash forward, but it's a flash forward to something that not only doesn't happen, but isn't even close to anything that happens in the main campaign. Like, what is the premonition in Engage supposed to mean? I hate the Engage prologue so much. So I believe this is the Berserk staff. And to be clear, this is not like an optimal strategy. I mean, I guess technically what would be optimal, right, would be to sacrifice your weakest unit. Like, take Serinde and just be like, I'll sacrifice you to get rid of the bosses. I recognize Patty, I just got her. Oh, you're in Chapter 7? Chapter 7 is like, it's one of my favorite maps. That's the desert map. Awakening did what Engage don't. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to, like, shit on Engage too much, because it is, like, a bit of a punching bag in a way that is often unfair. Just because, like, people will act like Engage's story is uniquely bad, as opposed to just most Fire Emblem stories ranging from bad to mediocre, and then there being a few very good ones, like the one I'm playing right now. I hate how they did Gen 2 in Fates. That too, that is also really dumb and bad. As a Fates fan, Engage does not deserve the story hate. Well, I'm not trying to say, I know there are some people who do really like Engage's story. And that's valid. Like, if you have a different opinion than me, that's fine. And I know there are some people who think it's the worst story in the franchise, and that's also valid. If you have a different opinion than me, that's also fine. However, I do not feel that it is like, how do I want to say this? I think my personal feelings on the story are, it is sort of a excuse plot for the first 2/3, where it's like, we're gathering rings. It just gives us an excuse to, like, have you go to all these different locations. And that's serviceable. I wouldn't call it good, but it's serviceable, right? And then during the last portion of the game, after the reveal about Alir's, like, true nature, I think it goes downhill very quickly, and I hated basically everything after that. Although, I also feel that Fire Emblem in general is pretty rough at doing endings. Like, Awakening was a similar way, where I do think Awakening's excuse plot, the first portion, is better than the one in Engage. But I don't think Awakening's story gets, like, quote-unquote bad, or what I would refer to as bad, until much, much later in, the arc where, like, they're trying to awaken Grima and stuff. I also think it's just kind of silly that, like, Valm is... Valm is, like, a filler story that takes up, like... There we go! I'm making her angry. So, again, this is not the optimal way to deal with these two. But I do think it's the funniest way. Because now she's going to attack him. I'm gonna do a story about a video about Awakening story, but that's so long since I've actually watched any of the story without skipping all the scenes. That is partially why I'm doing this sort of vanilla. No! Don't kill the boss! What are you doing? Kill Julius! Oh, he doesn't drop anything, so it doesn't matter. Let's just, like, let's let them fight. Is she hard-coded not to attack Julius? Surely not. Surely not. He's healing her! She attacked him and he's healing her! Bring out the popcorn. Yeah, we're just sitting here. We're just sitting here. I want to see... I genuinely don't remember if she kills someone, will it count? What is she doing? Adept, please? Adept, please? Yes! Adept! Archbishop Manbroy, forgive me! It worked! She killed the boss! She killed the boss! And then they're leaving now! That's the end of it, Lord Julius. I've won. Not bad, Ishtar. And now they just leave! And now they just leave! Bye! See you later! Oh my god. Okay, well, like I said, that's definitely not the most quote-unquote optimal way to deal with them, but it is also incredibly fucking funny. And sometimes funny is better than optimal. Charlotte was a worthy recruitment after all. I love using the berserk staff in this game. Like, there's not really any situations, unlike Thracia, where there are some situations where it's like, yeah, this is probably the best solution to the problem. There's nothing where I feel like it's the best solution, but there's a bunch of times where it's just like, you want to see something very funny, here you go. Optimized for entertainment value. I mean, I am doing this on YouTube after all. I think when people hype up FE4, this is what they're talking about. Alright, let's get Charlo some... I think after that, like, that's because of Charlo, right? So I think he's earned a promotion. Let's let him promote.
Here we go.
Alia's past resonates with me. I like the reveal.
Thank you for the $2 donation, Cynthia. Alir's past resonates with me. Oh, you got Garfield. You got Garfield. Yeah, so I've added in a few random ones. You got Garfield? No. Oh no, do you not like Garfield? But thank you for the $2 donation. Yeah, I've heard some people say that, like, Alir reminds them of sort of, like, trans allegory. Because the idea is, you know, they were born as a fell dragon, but they, you know, they're still valid as a divine dragon or whatever. And, like, I can understand how someone would come to that conclusion. It is not the one that I have personally. But art is open to interpretation, and just because it's not my reading doesn't make it any less valid of a reading, right? Why is he crucified? Because he died for our sins. Garfield dies for our sins. I don't like their hair. So the hair actually has really grown on me. But that was my initial reaction, is I didn't like Alir's hair. Maybe it's the you know, the brain slugs have gotten to me and now I like it, but I think the thing is, right, the tone they're going for in Engage is, and it's perfectly fine not to like this tone, but they're going for a more campy, fun anime adventure, right? They're not going for, like, Three Houses' tone was a more dark tragedy, right? Like, the big thing about Three Houses is it's tragic. You know, these students were friends and now they are fighting each other in this war that's, like, ultimately kind of pointless. Like, it's not pointless as in, like, there are genuinely huge philosophical differences between the sides, but it's also the sort of thing where I feel like if people would just fucking talk to each other, it could have been avoided, right? All this bloodshed could have been avoided. Which is something that, like, before anyone who's a fan of, like, one or the other of the characters, I think is a fault on both sides. So don't, like, at me for hating Edelgard or hating Dimitri. Claude doesn't have a side in there. They wrote him out of the story. It's very sad. But yeah, like, again, I can understand, and personally, I prefer, like, more serious stories to more, like, campy, fun ones. But I don't think Engage being a campy, fun story is inherently a flaw. At the same time, if you personally, like me, prefer the more serious stories, then I can understand liking it less, right? And I do like Engage's story less than Three Houses' story. I know, I'm so controversial. Charlo, you can heal up Sigurd. Claude was there for the people's gay awakening. That's my game theory. I think Claude was included because they wanted to have a very hype trailer cutscene moment where there's a three-way fight. And they didn't know how to make the conflict actually be a three-way conflict. Because here's the thing. Having like 3 different sides who all want different things and disagree with each other, I think that's really cool. That was not the only appeal, but one of the big appeals to like Game of Thrones, right? Is you've got like 4 or 5 different factions who sometimes they ally with each other, but ultimately they are all aiming for different things. Yeah, you can just hang out up there. Claude is such wasted potential. He's really cool as a lord. I've been told he's a lot better in Three Hopes. I do need to get back to playing Three Hopes. Because we did one Three Hopes charity stream, and then I just sort of have never gotten back to it. Oh, poor Oify, you've finally fallen off. The avatar for Three Hopes is such a meme. I've only done the Blue Lions route, and I'm only like, I think I'm at like the start of the real game, right? For as bad as the story of Fates is, both families like you and you like them, so you have a reason to pick them, even if Garen is evil. But in Three Houses, you never get any little random scenes of the characters being friends. I mean, on Dimitri and Edelgard's routes, you do get, like, their sort of backstory from when Edelgard was like, I think it's specifically Blue Lions gives you this. You don't get it on Edelgard's because she doesn't remember, because, like, the experiments, like, I don't know if the experiments wiped her mind or if she, like, repressed the memories from the trauma, but either way, she doesn't remember when she and Dimitri grew up together, but he does, because that was, like, the gift of the dagger is, like, a big part of their relationship. So I think we do get that scene in Blue Lion's route, which is probably part of why there are people who say, like, that is the best story of them. Personally, I think, like, all of the routes have some significant flaws. In a way that, like, kind of sucks. It would be cool if you didn't pick a house right away. You have a few maps to meet the students. I actually, have been meaning to make a video sort of rewriting White Clouds to work in a scenario where Byleth chooses their house at the end of White Clouds, where basically Garrick Mach would function in such a way that, like other schools, teachers, you know, they're not just one class teacher, they are teachers for, you know, everyone, right? And so, like, depending on the chapter, you might have the Black Eagles, you might have the Blue Lions, and you might have, the Golden Deer. And then you would, just have Finn kill here. You would, choose at the end, like once there's the Flame Emperor reveal and they're sort of like conflicted with each other, then you would choose who you side with. And that way would also solve the problem of like White Cloud's feeling like Blue Lions Jr. Because White Clouds, as it stands, does feel like it was designed for the Blue Lions. Because, like, what if you're fighting Sylvain's brother and, like, you just have no relationship with Sylvain? It just doesn't hit as hard, right? I don't know. And I was inspired by Triangle Strategy. What is that village doing sitting there? Getting burned down. Looks like we're too late, Seliph. The kids are already gone, and the boss got killed by Ishtar. I'm guessing they're on their way to Granville. Blast, not again. I hate to admit it, but I doubt we could have gotten here soon enough either way. Now then, it sounds like they're just finishing up repairs on the Miletos Strait Bridge. Ready to move on to Chalfie? Chalfie, my father's homeland. So it is. I'm betting the citizens there will be even happier to see you than usual. Let's not let them wait any longer. Indeed, everyone move out. Onward to Chalfie. Bum ba 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 ba. Alright, you, Healeroni. Watch out for Sigurd's extra point of move. Na 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 na. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yoink you. But yeah, because the thing I don't like about the way Three Houses handles it is it's basically just like choose your side in this gigantic philosophical war based on vibes, right? Which really undercuts, I think that it's not the only reason that Three Houses' story doesn't work for me, like the serious part of it. But it does definitely serve to undercut it to a good extent. You need money. Patty, how much you got? Yeah, you can give said money. You don't know the philosophical part of it, so you can't make an informed decision. Exactly. Like, you are just choosing based on vibes. Like, hey, I like Claude's vibes the best. Oh, it turns out now I'm sided with him in the war. Even if, like, well, what if I wouldn't have agreed with that, right? Alright, we good here. Do you think they intentionally made the story to make people argue with each other? It's a bit tinfoily hat for me. But I wouldn't be surprised to learn it. But I'm not gonna say, like, I think that without having seen any further evidence of it. It is definitely, like, it worked out as a marketing strategy, right? Because people arguing on Twitter is free marketing. I know that's like, I mean, that's like the philosophy behind like drama channels and stuff, right? Is get people arguing and you get your name out there. All press is good press, that sort of stuff. but part of me thinks that rather than it being intentional, it's a side effect of the fact that they never want the player to feel uncomfortable. It's part of this sort of like your self-insert. The main character being your self-insert means they can never be sort of morally gray. They can never make huge mistakes. Like, part of why, and we'll get to this in Thracia, but part of why Leaf is one of the best written lords in the series is he fucks up and he faces the consequences for it, right? Meanwhile, Corrin, when Corrin fucks up, because, you know, the player could have named Corrin after themselves, intelligence systems has to go out of their way to be like, no, it's not actually your fault. Player, please, we don't want you to feel bad. And so because of that, Three Houses tries to tell a story where there's no right side, but it presents every side you take as the right side. At least Fates had the balls to tell you, like, maybe there was another path in Conquest and Birthright, but then it just makes Rev the correct path, which I think is stupid in its own way. But in Three Houses, if you side with the church, then you're never made to think, maybe siding with the church wasn't a good thing, here's the evil the church does. You're just not shown that. If you side with Edelgard, you're never made to think, maybe Edelgard is bad, here's the bad stuff Edelgard does. You're just shown Edelgard's perspective and you're shown, like, Edelgard's good. If you side with Dimitri, you're never made to think, like, except maybe during the madness arc, but as soon as he's, like, instantly cured of his madness and trauma, everything Dimitri does is perfect, right? So you're never made to think, like, well, maybe this side isn't the right side. So I think what happens is that a lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people think that whatever route they went first is the right route because that's what they were presented with. And you can't blame someone for just following what the game tells them. It's part of why, like, it's similar to the Makalov Shannon thing, where Path of Radiance goes out of its way to tell you Makalov is, like, the worst person ever, but then it tells you, you know, Shannon is bad, but he's not that bad. So a lot of people will look at, like, you know, back when writing made sense. I mean, here's the thing, right, is, like, if you just don't look deeper, you take the message that the game tells you, then it's perfectly reasonable to be like, yeah, Makalov's worse than Shannon. But if you take a second to think about it, like, being a gambly addict, and Makalov does do despicable things, like, he's, you know, manipulative thief, there's some, like, grossness to the way he takes advantage of Astrid and that relationship, but, I don't know, you are not immune to propaganda. Yeah, kind of. Sounds fun in theory, but here we are many years after. But yeah, I think fans call Shannon out. Maybe Soren's a better example? Because Soren is a character who, like, the game tells you he's better, and then he immediately goes, like, what if we charged Laguz extra money? That would be cool, right? Like, those lines are presented back to back. And I think that the narration wants you to believe, like, yeah, he was racist, but it's been 3 years and he's better now. But yeah. I think the biggest example is Three Houses, with just people, like, militantly, you know, Edelgard is evil, Dimitri is evil, Claude exists. Because whoever they sided with first, they just weren't presented. If you're going to try to tell a nuanced story where either side can be right, you can't also coddle the player into thinking that their choice is the correct one. That could just be him making a bad joke. It is not, no. Soren says that he will only accept that they work with Laguz if they charge the Laguz extra. It's not presented as, like, him making a racist joke. It is an actual thing that he does. That's something out of, like, fucking Jim Crow era stuff. I know that he's a popular character, but it is counterfactual to... you could say that you understand why he's racist, and that's, you know, they do go into his backstory as opposed to, like, Shannon is literally just a Redditor. Shannon is like, I'm racist because it upsets people. He's just a fucking Redditor. So, like, I'm not saying that Shannon and Soren are the same. And I do think that, like, the game presents multiple characters who are racist, in, like, to varying degrees. Shannon is the racist uncle of the group. Yeah, and the problem there is that the story presents it as, like, you know, oh, you just accept that he's racist and that's it. You can still be friends with him. You can still have him in your, like, movement for racial equality. And that gets into this own thing of, like, you know, the paradox of tolerance, where, you know, if you tolerate intolerance, you are inherently making a space unsafe for those who are being persecuted, right? Shannon is on r/Lagoose L's. He's running that Twitter account, women getting L's or whatever, but for Lagoose. All right, we should probably get back to the story though, because I do actually want to finish FE4 at some point this year. Bishop Polmark, Your Grace, I need you to escort these children to safety. Come again? Are you setting them free? Indeed. More of Julius's minions from Valhalla will be here at any moment. You need to move in quickly. Yes, of course. Thank you, Your Majesty, and thank you so much. I also wish to entrust you with this. Hold on a moment, is this? Once long ago, you were a confidant of Sigurd, were you not? You already know what you must do. Yes, sire. Now go, protect the children with your life. Father. Julia, I beg your forgiveness. For all the misery I've wrought, you must hate me so. That's not true. It doesn't matter what happened, Father. Not even for a moment have I hated you. To me, you've always been one of the kindest men I've ever known. No, I am a fool. I've been a fool from the outset all this time. I've been Manfroy's puppet. When I finally saw the strings he was pulling, it was too late. I was powerless to do a thing. I had already given the Empire to Julius, the embodiment of Loptus, the Dark God. He took the love of my life from me. You are next. Mother sacrificed herself for me. She gave me the last of her strength to ensure I made it as far away as possible from Julius. I think the trauma must have wiped my memory, if Lewyn hadn't found me. But just knowing that Julius did what he did to his own mother? Now I remember, I almost wish I didn't. It hurts so much. Oh, Julia. We have so much more to talk about. I wish we could, but the time is short. You're in grave danger so long as you stay here. Run. Run with Bishop Polmark, please. I think not, Arvis. The only place Lady Julia is going is back with me to Velthamer. Now, I do believe His Imperial Majesty should keep Prince Julius's orders. That is, unless you want that dear daughter to meet the axe. How dare you, Manfroy? You address your Emperor. You dare seek to use my daughter as a common bargaining chip? So you feebly cling to your titles and thrones, do you? Your time is long past, Office. You and this world now belong to Prince Julius. Unless you wish to know pain beyond the ken of mortal men, still your tongue and obey your new liege without question. It's almost a pity your heroics, or for naught. Every last child you freed shall be festering corpse before this day is done. Father! Julia, I'm so sorry. Julius, the thugs are too powerful. I cannot protect you. All I can do is give you this. This circlet once belonged to Deirdre. This, only it could possibly save you. Enough! We leave at once, Julia. Oh, Father. Why does he let him give the circlet? Like, Manfroy, why do you let her get the circlet? That's what I want to know. Come along, children, hurry. But there's nowhere for us to go, sir. The dark priests are right behind us. We're gonna die, aren't we? Be at peace. All will be well. Lord Seliph will be here at any moment to rescue us. Have faith in the Crusaders, my children. This is why I always kill Shannon in Path of Radiance. I think Shannon being unrecruitable would have been, would have significantly improved the story of Path of Radiance. I don't even necessarily think he needs to die. Like, I think if you did all that stuff with Ike, that you normally, like, you have him talk to Rolf and then get the kill with Ike, right? Shannon gets spared, and maybe you get some sort of reward, right? You get, like, an extra brave bow, or you get the double bow or something. But then instead of him joining the army, he asks to join the army, and Ike is like, you know, we're incompatible. You know, I've grown beyond the person that I was when we did work together. Because people often forget, Ike himself was initially racist. It was, you know, ignorance, right? He just did not know anything about the Lagoos. But in, I believe, the very first scene where, like, Ranulf shows up, right? Ike is like, oh my god, you're a subhuman! And Rolf's like, what the fuck? You can't say that! Bro, you can't say that! And he's like, what do you mean? I just thought that was normal. And so I think, you know, the journey, Path of Radiance, of Ike sort of learning, actually, it's not okay. Like, it is silly that the word is subhuman, right? Anyone with 2 brain cells should realize that it's not okay to call other people subhuman. But if we ignore that, right? If we ignore that portion, then the story is about Ike learning, and sort of overcoming these ingrown biases. And so I think it makes perfect sense that Ike would, not have had an issue with Shannon during the first 7 chapters, because he just thinks, like, you know, he's a bit of a dick, but, you know, whatever. He's family. But I do think that, like, it would show a lot of growth and the sort of intended character arc if it becomes, you know, actually, as it turns out, it's not okay what you do. I also think, like, another possibility that I also wouldn't hate would be if they wanted Shannon to remain as a recruitable character, right? Have it be a situation where it's like, our army is in desperate need right now, right? Uh-oh. Hold on. Is the stream still here? I just got it. Chat, if you can hear me, say you can still hear me, because my Firefox has frozen. The Firefox I'm streaming off of has frozen. Heard, I can still hear you. Okay. So I can't see the stream anymore. So I'll just hope that this is still working. So that if they wanted Shannon to remain as a playable character, right? I also think it would have been fine to be like, you know, our army is a desperate need right now. We need more soldiers. So, you know, you can help us, but after that, we're done. You know, we go our separate ways, and then in Radiant Dawn, rather than having Shannon be a part of the Grail Mercenaries, he could join the Dawn Brigade, right? He goes to Edain. You know, he's wandering around, he doesn't have anything to do. He's still, like, kind of a bit of a racist fuck. So he learns about, like, Peleus, and the true Emperor of Edain or whatever, and he's like, yeah, I'll join up with them. And that way, then Jill is not, because they could have him, like, replace Jill as, like, the third one of those, right? And then they don't undo Jill's character arc by having her be like, yup, I'm okay with genociding the Lagoos again for no fucking reason. And then, you know, when, I'm not gonna say what happens, but at the end of Act 3, something happens, right? That makes it, once again, like, a desperate situation. And so, once again, Ike is okay. Like, hey, we need all the help we can get, but this doesn't mean we're square. Like, I'm just not gonna make a fuss about the fact that, you know... Yeah. A pre-promoted sniper for the Dawn Brigade. I mean, that would make sense though, right? Like, even from a gameplay perspective, it's so weird that, like, Jill is unpromoted, but Tyronio and Zehark are promoted, right? And I'm sure they could integrate Jill into the story somewhere else. It'd make the swamp chapter less annoying. I mean, I don't know. I think it's easy enough to kill the wyverns in the swamp chapter. I mean, he wouldn't even deal effective damage to them, so I don't know how good he would be. You already have Zehark and Tormod there. The swamp chapter's annoying not because, like, the enemies are tough, but just because, like, terrain, right? I guess not having a flyer in the Dawn Brigade would make, like, 11-12 and 11, or 3-12 and 3-13 annoying. Wait, which swamp chapter do you mean? The part 1 swamp chapter or the part 3 one? Because there's two. I initially thought you meant the chapter you're not allowed to use Jill. Where there's, villagers drowning in the swamp. But then I remembered there's also the furry swamp where you fight furries. Where does Tormod go after part 1? Tormod goes back to, the fancy country where Sonicky's from, Begnion. Tormod goes back to Begnion. It's part of why I think that rather than having Alincia's story, if they wanted to have a part 2, like a short story in part 2, I think it would make more sense narratively to be around, Sonicky? Because she's, like, much more of a main character in the central conflict than Alincia is. Granted, like, the central conflict of Radiant Dawn is also, like, based around some misunderstandings of racism on the part of the writers, so it's not, like, great. But from a pure, like, storytelling perspective, I do think it would make more sense. As, like, a, yeah. I want a Fire Emblem game where you desperately need units and you recruit a thief who says, I've washed my hands clean, and then leaves without a word a few chapters later, along with all the golden items. You just described, a character in Pairings Saga. There's a character in Pairings Saga who you recruit, like, multiple times before he finally permanently joins you. But on one of those occasions, he steals half of the gold in your convoy and then leaves. Which is, like, you know, very funny. Jesus Christ! Arthur, stop getting hit by 10%! This is why charisma is a good skill, by the way. If we had charisma up here, these 10s would be zeros. One RN moment. I like how the commander is just the most unthreatening. Screwed over by the lack of Riz. Yeah, but you got fucking Tristan. I hate Tristan so much. There we go. Okay, Arthur, delete this fool. Who has charisma? So the substitute dancer has charisma, and Lachesis' children both have charisma. So Dermot, Nana, and Layla. How's the new translation? I am personally not a fan of it. I prefer the old one personally. Both because this one has some glitches in it that the old one didn't have. And more importantly, or I guess that is the more important one, but then more subjectively, more like opinionatedly, I don't like the approach of literal equals better. A lot of things got literally translated and they ignored the like traditional slash, you know, localized things, right? So like the armor slayer being called Ironbane sword is a more literal translation, but I think it communicates less. What's the difference? The main thing is that a lot of the names... Oh yeah, so this is where we die, right? No! Okay, he dodged. A lot of the names have become like their heroes' equivalents, which like is technically more accurate, even if I personally prefer the old ones. The name it established and other things. Yeah, like that's why I prefer Armor Slayer, because like all other games with an armor effective weapon call it the Armor Slayer. Look at Fee go. We need ice magic in Fire Emblem, or just cool magic in general. I wish that magic had more like secondary effects. As it stands, magic in Fire Emblem often feels boring. It's just like it hits on res. That's like its only special effect. I like things like, I mean, like what Engage did, right? Thunder magic has extra range but can't double. Slurge is one range but infinite hit. Like, it makes magic actually feel special. Dark magic and Awakening is the same way. It has like all these added effects and actually feels special. Three Houses has some of that with the dark magic as well. Ike magic reduces the speed. Yeah, so that's the thing is, like, physical weapons often feel more magical than magical weapons. Like, daggers are a physical weapon that feels more special to me in, like, applying debuffs or whatever. What was the indie game that I demoed? Oh, I'm trying to remember the name of it. Hold on. YouTube. Danny Doyle. Indie game. Because there was an indie game that I really liked the magic system in. Yeah, Years of Division. I really liked that magic system. It's on my Steam wish list. Just rescue you forward. Here's the Vision has sick magic. It made it really feel like the magical units were using something special, something different from the physical units. In a way that I really liked. Physical weapons have more freedom in weapon design. Is that true? Like, you know, we sort of take it, like, as a default from Fire Emblem experience that things like, you know, the hammer, the armor slayer, that sort of stuff exists. But I don't think that is actually, like, a default. I think honestly, it makes less sense for there to be like, this is the sword that is good against horses. This is the lance that is good against armors. Like, that sort of stuff, right? I think it makes more sense to be like, yeah, you know, I made this magic spell that, like, you know, it's good at defeating enemies that have axes equipped, right? Dark Spites in Three Houses. Yeah! Here's bolting, it's super long range. Here's Nosferatu. I do think, like, having super long range on bolting and having the life drain effects are, like, genuinely really cool things that make it feel magical. It's just that that feels like the exception that proves the rule. Like, that doesn't actually feel particularly common. You can also just have specific elements like thunder messes up armored foes or wind messes up flying. Yeah, I also really like the magic system in Triangle Strategy. Has anyone here played Triangle Strategy? All of the magic has like secondary effects and they interact with each other. So like you can use fire to melt ice and that creates pools of water, and then lightning shoots through the water and affects everyone who's standing in the water. Hammer makes sense. They use them in real life to break armor. Yeah, no, that is one that makes sense. It feels like the exception that proves the rule, though, because, like, Heavy, Spear, and Armor Slayer and Sting Shuriken. Like, what are those supposed to represent, right? Axe Splitter Katana? I thought all katanas were good against axes. I thought they had triangle advantage. Why is this one even better? You know, Reavers are cool. Why is there no magic Reaver? I mean, I guess because there's no magic triangle, right? And honestly, I don't need there to be a magic triangle. That's one of the things I really liked about Lords of the Sea, which I'm so excited to play more of, is they just replaced light magic with daggers, and I'm like, yeah, like, give me a new weapon type. I know Game Boy Advance is limited by the fact that, like, you can only have 7 weapon types. Well, 8 if you count stabs. Before things get, like, categorized not... They could put in, like, the other category or whatever, right? And then you can't really have, like, you know, a rank. Like, if you make a new weapon type, you can't really have a rank associated with it if you don't overwrite something else. But do we need light magic, dark magic, and anima magic? And, you know, Lords of the Sea said no, and so it said, like, let's... Oh god, right, they all heal each other, and it's really obnoxious. Does the magic triangle ever matter in FE? I feel like in my experience, there aren't enough enemy mages to make you think about it. I think it's less the number of enemy mages, and more the fact that, mage on mage violence is typically not a thing in vanilla Fire Emblem, because mage classes tend to have high resistance, and so, like, fighting enemy mages with your mages just kind of results in nobody dealing much damage to each other anyway. I will say, I find that in ROM hacks, the magic triangle is actually pretty relevant. Specifically because ROM hacks often make dark mages into the class that is low resistance, high defense, right? They're the bulky mages, but they're bad against other mages. And I think that is a place that, like, makes sense for them. It does also often lead to just overpowered dark mage. There's a meme in the hacking community of, like, you know, the ROM hack early dark mage archetype is just an overpowered dark mage. What's the best way of dealing with a horde of enemies without Forseti? Sed or Seliph or Ares? I think Ares is the best way of dealing with a horde of enemies. Just give him a crit jav. Where is he? Like, look at this man. Look at him. I think he's better at it than Forseti is, personally. I'm gonna make a controversial take. I think this is the best unit in Generation 2. Yes, even better than Seliph. That's my take. That's my take. I think that, so everyone talks about, you know, what if we gave Arthur a pairing for Vantage Wrath? So the initial cope is like, oh, you know, sure, it'll hurt his magic, but he can just crit. And then when you realize that's not enough, the next level of cope is, okay, he's bad at magical Vantage Wrath, but just, like, have him fight one-range enemies with the Brave Sword, right? As opposed to, you know, why don't we just put the Brave Sword on anyone to have them fight one-range enemies? Motherfucker right here has 1-2 range Vantage functional Wrath. Yeah, it's not a guaranteed crit, but that's 50 plus 20. That's a 70% chance to crit. Not only that, But unlike Arthur, who, when he's in vantage range, will just, like, die to the next enemy, motherfucker has 20 defense! He can take a lot of punishment. He can take a lot of punishment even when he's below half HP. So if you don't get the 70% or you face off against an enemy that, you know, you don't kill with a crit, doesn't matter. He doesn't die. And that's the other thing, like, in addition to, okay, but I could just have, like, Sigurd with the Brave Sword instead of Vantage Wrath Arthur with the Brave Sword. There's actually a lot of 1-2 range enemies in the late game. Like, we just fought a horde that has, like, bows, tomes, and axes. The last 2 chapters have had a lot of groups of Javelin Wyverns. Thracia loves Javelin Wyverns. Not the game, the country. So, there's so many groups of Javelin Wyverns. 20 defense and 13 res. Yeah, no, he has enough resistance. That's the other thing, is he has enough resistance not to get put to sleep when he has the Mistletoe equipped. It only gives plus 10 res, but his res, he needs like 1 res level in order to not get put to sleep on endgame. And I think his res growth is like 20%, 25%, something like that. But yeah, this playthrough has solidified my thoughts that he is better than Seliph. Because here's the other thing, he doesn't need favoritism in the way that Seliph does. Seliph does get the favoritism, like Seliph syndrome is a real thing. FE4 errors. I forgot he has Vantage. It's easy to forget because he has so many skills. He also gets critical with Mistletoe, right? But yeah, Eris starts with the Holy Weapon, so he can immediately just do player-face stuff with Mistletoe. If you train up a crit jab for him, which is not that big of an ask in Gen 1... Yeah, he gets 5 res on, so he starts with 4 res, he gets 5 on promotion, and he's a 30%? He has a 30% res growth! That is absurd! Oh, right, also he has Adept. I forgot he has Adept too. So that 70% crit chance, you also add Adept to that because, like, if he doesn't crit to kill, he might just Adept to kill, right? This guy's incredible. Our flyers did their flyer job. Flyer emblem. And also he starts on a horse, right? So you don't have to give him like the training arc. He doesn't need inheritance because he just starts out with everything he needs. I guess he needs to buy the javelin. Oh, boo-hoo, right? Like, whatever will I do? Are you gonna do the funny berserk cheese? Maybe? I do want to get the kill with Javier. Because I've been told I'll be paid if I do that. It's still weird he can self-destruct before you recruit him. I mean... the only unit that's gonna kill him of yours is, like, Forseti Arthur, right? And I think at that point, you're kind of going out of your way for it. Ayra's kids can easily do it too with Nihil. I guess if you've, like, trained them up and they proc Astra or whatever. But, like, is Rutger bad because you can kill him as a red unit as well? Cap strength, nice. Get some more experience. Why do Fire Emblem bosses usually suck? I mean, stationary bosses are both, like, inherently cheesable and basically a stat check, so they become, like, kind of unfun to fight. So I guess that would be my reasoning. We need more Reinhardts for bosses. I think Engage did a very good job of making bosses, like, a legitimate challenge while also legitimately fun. We'll mend you up. Very random time to bring this up, and I know you can't post links, but I posted footage of Fee's secret event. Ooh! Let me see. Let me see if I can find it. That would be cool to show. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Looks like you've been working hard! It requires that said is not on the map. Okay. Look at his gains. Look at his gains. Is there a village he can go to? He can go to this village, get enough to buy wind. Alright, Charlo, you're on a journey to the village! Judd Gold promotion gains are ridiculous. Yeah. Sorry, I don't have much to say about the fact that, like, we're just soaking up meteors, right? Like, nothing much exciting is happening. I think this might be the most random event, because I can't think of a reason why Permanent can't activate it, besides she just named her Pegasus after Erinus. Yeah, the sort of like the differences that between what are sub-events and what are main unit events feels pretty arbitrary, because for the most part they overlap. I actually thought they always overlapped, but it turns out that's not the case. Alright, let's get the tier thing. Are you unharmed, Your Grace? Lord Seliph, oh bless you. We've awaited you for so long. I've done all I can to survive. To ensure you receive your birthright. Here, take it, my lord. What is this? It is the sacred relic of Hell's Chalfie, the Divine Blade tier thing. But how could you have it, Your Grace? My apologies, my lord. I cannot say a sworn oath. I see. Fair enough, then. I couldn't possibly thank you enough, Your Grace. So this is Tierfing, then. I've never felt power quite like this. My lord, I beg of you, please retake Chalfie at once. Your subject have endured for so long, in hope of one day seeing your return. Rest easy now, Your Grace. So long as I have Tierfing in hand, you have nothing more to fear. You don't actually have to fix it in Gen 1. I thought you had to fix it for it to be repaired. Am I wrong about that? I thought it would just be a broken sword if you didn't fix it in Gen 1. It fixes itself in between generations. Huh! I did not know that. And now we finally have Miracle Seliph without cheating. Charlot's going to the village. And now it's time for Cannibal Tinny. It's broken if Sigurd's father died. Oh. Okay. Interesting. I did not know that. Finn got new heroes art. Oh, interesting. That was one of the things that really upset me is there was no heroes art for Finn, so I couldn't do a Finn thumbnail. Nana has an alt with Ingrid. Oh god, don't remind me of the Ingrid discourse we're currently having, apparently. Finn thumbnail for Endgame? I actually already made the Endgame thumbnail. I'm sorry to say. It is this. I think it's a fitting one, though. Like, it's gotta be Julia, right? It has to be Julia. It's kind of just like it couldn't be anyone else. It does have to be Julia, indeed. $70 attack. Jesus Christ, Arvis. Yeah, we're not stealing Arvis's lunch money. I always forget how fucking ridiculous he is. We got Dagdar as well. Yeah, I got the Dagdar art. Unless you mean new Dagdar art. I don't... How new is new? Because there was some Thracia art available for a while that I used to make the Thracia thumbnails. Is this like a different Dagdar one? Why does Arvis have a silver blade? He drops it if you didn't inherit it. If you didn't have anyone inherit it, I believe he drops it. I might be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure it's for that. You, Emperor Arvis, why did you betray my father? At long last, Seliph. I must commend your courage, boy. But courage cannot save you now. Not since your dear departed father have I seen such a pathetic worm. My flames shall purge you from this world. Come on, Seliph. We do have to get this kill with Seliph to get the event, and I do want to show off the event. But you can talk to Sigurd's ghost. Big shield, fucking big shield. We can at least get Layla up there for charisma, I guess. Give us an extra 10 hit. Are the children rescuable? Yep, that's what Tinny is doing. Tinny's gonna eat the children. Yummy experience. His theme goes so hard. I agree. I like it. Nice, we dodged the 90. Currently doing a run with unconventional pairings. Claude Nana has been much better than her brother growth-wise. That is unconventional. That is unconventional. I'll give you that. Tearfing you. Big shield. We hate big shield in this house. We adept, we adept. Okay, perfect. With the recent Heroes remakes, we can cope and say we'll definitely get a remake. I mean, I think that the weird practice of, like, trying to sift through the sand and prove there's gonna be an FE4 remake. Deirdre, Julia. Alright, so since Seliph got the kill, we can get this event now. I sifted through the sand and found a warp staff. The remake has to be somewhere in here. Few folk living today are as vile as that Queen Hilda of Kronos. She's real cozy with them dark cultists. She goes around stealing kids, and then they cry so much she kills the mams so calm. Like you think she was just swatting flies. There's no way that woman's human. And it's a fiend ruling us right now. So we have a village here and a village here. Probably Leaf get those two villages. Where is Altena? There she is. Is everything alright, Altena? You look rather weary. Oh, Leaf, it's nothing. Don't worry about it. Well, if you say so. Listen, Altena, don't be afraid to ask for my help. If you ever need anything, I'll gladly do all I can. Thanks, Leaf. Actually, I was thinking of Arion. I thought as much. Is it true that someone came to spirit him away after we brought him down? It is. And from what I hear, that someone was Prince Julius. The Empire's crown prince himself? But why? Why in the world would he do that? Perhaps he's trying to win himself a new ally by appealing to Arion. That makes sense. And I suppose that means we'll be crossing blades with Thrasia's Wyvernites again. I'm afraid so. So long as this war continues. And to be honest, Altena, I believe this is actually good news. Huh? How so? Think about it. As long as Arion's still alive, there's hope that we can help him. Never give up, Altena. So long as we keep moving forward, surely everything will be fine in the end. Thank you, Leaf. I think I'm already feeling better. Thank the gods. I couldn't bear knowing that my sister was in such grief. I'm here for you, Altena. All I want is to ensure your happiness, and I'll do whatever it takes to help you. I wish Arion was a recruit. I mean, you turn him green. You do turn him green. So Charlot can talk to Altena. Let's get the Sigurd event. Seliph. Oh, Seliph. Is somebody there? Oh, Seliph, how you've grown. Could it be... Mother? Mother, is it truly you? What a fine young man you've become. Bless Lewyn for all he's done to guide you this far. Seliph, never forget your friends, your companions. You must always cherish them. You owe them so. Yes, Mother, I understand. Oh, I defeated Emperor Arvis. At long last, Father has been avenged. You did. But what of Julius and Julia? I don't know. Wait, Mother, how could you know of what happened to them? Mother? Seliph. Who's there? Wait, is it you, Father? Listen, Seliph, you must stay humble no matter what. Remember, your power alone was not to put an end to Arvis. What? How do you mean, Father? You must learn the sorrow of the common man, Seliph. Your truth is not the reality of all. Unless you know their pain, these long years of war have been for naught. Father! Come back, please! Seliph, take care, my son. Oh, Mother. And we get a heal bracelet. Which is worthless. It's really bad. Is there a lore reason they appear as ghosts? Cause they died. They're ghosts cause they died. It inspired the ghost alts. Yeah, I've seen the ghost alt art actually looks really cool. I like it. Now we just have a little bit of cleanup to do before we seize. Leaf's gonna get a couple of villages. If Sigurd comes back as a ghost, he can get his ass on the field. It funnels 20k into a child's wallet. Unfortunately, since it's only Seliph though, like Seliph famously does not need money. He does not need the 20k, right? So, unfortunately, not a huge deal for him. I meant the Gen 1 one. Yeah, so the Gen 1 one I do like specifically for that reason. Not as like an item, but I think we passed it to someone. I forget who we passed it to, but we gave it to someone who I was like, that kid needs money, right? What does the heal bracelet do? You heal 10 HP per turn. It's real bad. How far do you think Charlo can make it through the arena? Human, I remember your Elwind. What if Leaf and Eris had similar events? I think that would be cool. If whoever kills Eris could get the event, I think that would be cool. $10 HP per turn is good for Wrath strategies. How is that good? That turns off Wrath. Healing above the Wrath threshold would turn off Vantage Wrath. That's bad. Like, you don't want healing on units that you're trying to do Vantage Wrath stuff on. I want to see the Arden Ghost. You forgot about Arden. When you're in danger. But you can't control when it goes off. It just happens every turn. If you had the ability to choose to heal up, sure. Is Miracle Wrath better than Vantage Wrath? It is not, because Miracle only lasts one turn, Vantage is forever. Huh? You're with the Liberators? Wow, you came for us after all! Eat the children, Tinny. Eat the children. Oh my god, Polemark. Polemark healing reminds me of that one video where they had injured units lure Polemark to get killed by Arvis. Oh, you're a Crusader. I was really scared there. He's stealing your healer experience. I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine. The experience rank is in shambles. Jagan archetype! Somebody update the wiki. Somebody update the wiki. Polemark is the Jagan of Chapter 10. And the Goto of Chapter 10. You're the Liberation Army? Wow. You're all amazing. So we can get her to 16. No further. He's the Jagan of the Escaping Children group. The one on the bottom left is the Lord, because all of them are the Gordon archetype, because they're green. I'm learning so much about Fire Emblem today. Thank you for my education. Who else has talks? Oh, Seliph and Tinny have a talk. And Shannon can talk to Seliph. What does Tinny promote to? War Mage. She just gets stabs and swords. Like, the payoff is just Infantry Staffer. It's not that good. You've grown so strong of late, Seliph. You really are your parents' son. There's nothing left for me to teach you. Thank you, Shannon, for everything. Any might I have springs from your teachings. To me, swordplay is every bit as natural as breathing, and I owe it all to you. Heh, you think you do. You think so, do you? You look awfully wearing, Shannon. Is something amiss? If only I could lend you my strength. Hey, come on! You don't need to treat me like some old man. I'm as young and spry as ever, you know. Oh, my apologies, Shannon. I wasn't what I... It's fine. Thanks anyway, Seliph. Heartens me to know that you care. Whoa! The Liberators! You're the best! I'm the best. What is binary? The Polemark, are you fucking kidding me? Did he just body block? Oh, good. I thought he was body blocking. Wait, you're a Crusader? Really? Huh. Wait, Quan hates poor people? What? A terrifying man, that Prince Julius is. Just a single glance in those eyes and you're gone. You lose yourself. So many of my friends and others my age have left Valhalla to serve him. I've heard nothing more from any of them since. Hallmark, what are you doing, buddy? Quan would probably tell Thracians to get a job. I don't get that impression. I don't get that impression. Like, there's animosity between North and South Thracia. He calls them Thracian beasts. They're trying to kill him! They're trying to kill him! Come on! That's not... They're literally trying to kill him and his wife and daughter. Like, and it's not even like a slur. That's just like calling them assholes for trying to kill him. I don't think that's... I think you're reading too much into that. Pardon me, Tyne. Lewyn would like a word with you. If you need anything from me, I'll be waiting over there. Say, Tyne, Hilda was your aunt, right? I can only imagine how painful having to fight her was. No, not really. Lady Hilda is a horrific woman. She didn't treat you well, did she? Day after day, again and again, she kept beating on and abusing us. She kept on accusing Mother of being a traitor. Your mother, Tailtu, right? Yes. After the Battle of Valhalla, she and my brother Arthur fled to Celeste. I was born there soon after. I never knew my father. I think he must have died long ago. I see. Then you went to Ulster, right? King Bloom and his minions came to Celeste one night. They dragged us away to Ulster. Mother would never left there alive. You've had such a hard life. Hilda hated Mother so much. I've never seen anything like it. Mother must have coped with so much, all to protect me from Hilda. She was always in tears right till the end. She did? Lord Lewyn, is everything okay, sir? Yeah, why do you ask? It's your eyes, sir. Are those tears? No, it's nothing. This is just a bit of sweat. I'm fine. I'm okay. Huh! He does cry. Also, nice plus magic on you, Tinny. I mean, maybe she can actually make it through the arena now. Oh, hold on.